Joe, what's it like going from one really good quarterback to another one here?
Yeah, they keep coming. I have a lot of respect for Josh Hoover. I think he's as savvy of a guy as there is in the league, and that's just what the Big 12 is. I mean, you have to face the facts of I don't. It's been proven year after year the teams with the good quarterbacks are always going to be competitive, and if you don't have one, you're going to have a hard time in this league. And so it's just kind of commonplace for us now. It's just they might have different flavors. You know, one might be more of a runner, one might be more of a thrower, one might be more of a game manager, one might be more of a wild card. But every week it seems there's no getting away from it.
What is Hoover's flavor in your eyes?
I think he really knows what he's doing with the football. I think he is athletic enough to keep plays alive, and they do a lot of stuff. You know, sometimes teams max up the protections and keep a lot of people in and try to protect the quarterback that way. These guys don't do that. They're a lot more what we would call 50 pro, which means they're getting their back out a lot in the route and using just their 5-0 lineman for protection. And you'd think that would lead to a lot of sacks and stuff, and he does take some hits, but it doesn't lead to that as much. I think what their thought is they want to give him as many options to throw the football and space you out as much as they possibly can. So I think that fits him very well because he's athletic enough to escape some of the pressure that he gets. And I think because he sees the field so well, having a fifth option out in the route a lot of times is beneficial to them.
He's mobile. Do you consider him a running threat?
That's not what he wants to do. But he has shown to hurt people with it sometimes. You know, they don't design a lot of runs for him. They don't, use him the way that sometimes teams would use kids that have his level of athleticism. And I don't know if it's because they don't want to get him banged up or whatever, and that's part of it too. But, yeah, we're going to have people with eyes on him for sure.
So Toby's out. Do you know if that's short-term or long-term?
It sounds like it might be decently long-term here. I'm not sure what the status will be for later in the year, but for the next couple of weeks for sure, it looks unlikely.
Who are some guys that count on the D-line without him in there?
I'm sorry?
Who are some other guys on the D-line you count on without him in there?
Yeah, Jordan Allen will have a bigger role now. When Ryan Davis got back, Jordan's, we've shuffled him around a little bit because he's good enough to be out there. He just hasn't really found a home. If Toby's out for a stretch, then we'll have to park Jordan in a place, which I think will be good for him so he can just learn one position. It's going to put more stress on guys like Travis Bates. It's going to put more stress on guys like Cody Stufflebean, who, frankly, are great players. They're doing a really good job for us. It's just, the thing that we're going to miss with Toby is, especially when it comes to third down. It'd be great in a game like this where you could just rush and that's his forte. And he's, even though the numbers, I don't even know what the numbers are, but he's a threat in the pass rush game, and we'll miss that.
Is it as fun to coach Quay Moss as it appears to be?
Yeah, Quay's an instinctive kid that loves football, and we saw that on his film and recruiting, and I don't think he was a heavily recruited guy and kind of an under the radar. We tried to keep it that way guy, but he's just he's getting more and more confident too, which I can appreciate, and he's getting more and more football smart. He's instinctive. I don't know if he really understood a lot of situational things. I think he's getting that better now. I'm not saying he's Einstein or anything that way, but I think he's getting better that way. So it's fun. Yeah, he's a good one to have at practice, and he challenges the guys, and we need it.
What are some of the regrets that come to mind from the Baylor game on defense?
Yeah, I don't have any from the players' perspective. I don't fault those guys at all. I don't think they prepared hard. They had a good week of practice. They played hard. They were in the game. We made a ton of adjustments. They handled them. The players were awesome. My regrets are me. I didn't do a very good job of getting those guys in positions to have success. I think on the board things are one way, and then when you get in reality, there's matchups that maybe we're not going to win. And I put those guys in too many of those matchups where we didn't win. And credit to Baylor, I thought a lot of the things they did, and they kept making us fix it. They kept coming back to it. Sometimes people kind of stick and move. They just kept finding ways to create those matchups, and that tight end is going to be a tough matchup for anybody. And I probably should have shuffled some pieces around sooner than I did to get maybe a more favorable matchup for us on that guy. And we did a good job of that in the third quarter, and then at the end of the game kind of got back away from us a little bit.
When they do go to the 5 linemen doing the protection solely, they got 5 out en route. Does that make it a difficult decision for a defense coordinator whether to bring heat or?
It does, yeah, because when you look at it, one of the things that we look at and we chart is the time to throw, or I shouldn't even say time to throw. I don't know the best way to term it, but how quick the ball's getting out of his hand. And when you look at some of the down and distances where the ball's getting out of his hand, it's 1.4, it's 1 point, shoot, you could be unblocked and not get there on some of those. And so that's a difficult answer that as the game goes on, that's the game of chess a little bit, because conventional wisdom say, well, why don't you drop 8 then, or why don't you do those things? And that stuff's great, but that's going to lead to some scrambles, and then you got scramble problems. If you bring heat, you don't have those scramble problems, but then you're playing a lot of one-on-one football. And I think we're good enough to win some of those one-on-ones sometimes. I also think we have to have a mixture of the two philosophies.